Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's SJK here with another discussion, and today we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch, as we all know, as of like a couple weeks ago, has become the fastest selling console in North American history. Like, this is the fastest selling console, you know, beating the likes of the PS2 and beating the likes of the Wii. It's just been an amazing system. I have my Nintendo Switch. I love the system, but I wanted to go ahead today and I wanted to talk about um, does the Nintendo Switch have too many ports and are they bad for the system? So, and the reason I bring that up is because we recently had a Nintendo Direct Mini, and we're getting Donkey Kong Country Returns or Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I think that's what it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong. And we have that coming, but it's just another port. We're getting Bayonetta. That's another port from the Wii U, I believe. We got Breath of the Wild, which technically is a port because that game was designed on a Wii U, and they're like, no, 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 we're gonna release it simultaneously so we can get whatever sales we can get off of the Wii U copies, but it's gonna be the main system seller on the Switch. Breath of the Wild is a port. Um, we also have Mario Kart Deluxe. That's a port. We have Pokken Tournament Deluxe or DX, whatever it's called. That's a port. We have Disgaea port. Uh, just port. Just Wii U ports jumping over to the Nintendo Switch. We have other ports like LA Noir that was like on the PS3, the 360, made its way to the Nintendo Switch. We're getting Payday, which is another, I think which is another 360 PS3 port. There's rumors of a Grand Theft Auto 5 port. Of course, we have Skyrim, but I give the pass on Skyrim. I don't count Skyrim because Skyrim is a hub. Like, where hasn't Skyrim been played on? Like, that's been on every system. Like, that's on everything. On any system. Like, you could get that on anything, basically. So I'm not surprised they made it to the Switch. So that doesn't count. Like, just port after port after port. And in my opinion, when it comes to the Wii U ports, I don't mind the Wii U ports because, speaking from my own experience, I owned a Wii U. I bought a used Wii U, I want to say maybe like a year after its release. And even then, word was getting around that this was a failure, that the sales weren't too good, they weren't putting out games, and I wanted to try it out. I wanted to give it a try. And I owned a Wii U for all of like a month. I had Super Mario 3D World or whatever it's called, Super Mario Wii U. And I had Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, but that was for my wife. She loves the Donkey Kong series. And I had Batman Arkham. But other than that, it was boring, Like a lot of people, I waited and I waited for games to come out. And by the time I got rid of it, they had announced, was it Xenoblade X or whatever it's called? They announced that. But that wasn't enough for me to go back and buy a Wii U. So I missed out on Splatoon. I missed out on Pokken. I missed out on Mario Kart. I missed out on Super Smash Brothers, even though that was available to the 3DS. So I feel like I wasn't alone because the sales show it. So obviously, like myself, the brilliance of things getting ported over to the Switch is that you're getting these deluxe versions for people like myself who never bought the game. So you're getting the opportunity to buy the game, and usually these games ship with all the DLC already included in it. And in a lot of cases, like Pokken Tournament, they're going beyond. You know, now they're gonna release new characters like Aegislash and Blastoise and all that stuff. So that's cool. That gives you know I think the casual gamer that picked up the Switch, the casual gamer that didn't buy the Wii U, it gives us the opportunity to pick up the games that were great on the Wii U and play them at their most grandest version. Because they fixed up the frame rate. They look a little bit prettier. They come with extra stuff that the base Wii U games didn't come with. So that's good. And then there's other ports like Dragon Ball Xenoverse was just absolutely awesome and amazing. And no, I don't think. I think if we get ports that are done right and done well, people will buy them. And if we are just getting strictly ports of games that were good and we get like a Nintendo spin to them, why not? You know, like Skyrim, there was Zelda content in Skyrim. Like you can get the Zelda shield, and you could get Zelda shield, Link's shield, and you can get his sword in Skyrim. Like that's awesome. You got all the extra DLC included automatically when you bought Mario Kart. Uh, Splatoon 2, from what I hear, is just actually Splatoon 1 with all the extra stuff on it. You can't go wrong with these things. Pokken Tournament out of the box with the DLC players already included, including playable characters that only came out in the arcade that wasn't released on the Wii U. That's pretty cool. And like I said, new DLC coming. Not a bad thing. Like we can't go wrong. You know what I mean? And it gives publishers an opportunity to make up for money that they technically lost on the Wii U. And porting also, to me right now, is vital for the Switch, as it's a bit of like a proving ground. It's a testing ground to see what the Switch is capable and what it can do fidelity wise, gameplay wise, all that technical mumbo jumbo that I really don't know. It's a good testing ground for it. Now, with that being said, it can go sour. You know, like okay, we got a port of WWE 2K, and unfortunately, it's running like crap. Now, thanks to the performance of other ports, it's kind of proven that they can do much better. But if a port goes wrong, like who knows if 2K is gonna use this, like who knows if 2K and WWE are gonna be like, well, the Switch isn't powerful enough, and they won't release any more future WWE games on the console. There's a negative. Other publishers can see it. It's like, oh, the Switch can't handle a wrestling port. What makes us think it's gonna be able to handle our games. So there's the negative. But then on the other hand, you have high end ports like Doom, that is like still a fairly new title that do have its limitations on the Switch, but are still fun. So like I said, as long as the Switch doesn't go incredibly port happy, as long as the Nintendo Switch just gets the important ports, the bigger names, the better games from Wii U, that rhymes, it's fine. And if it gets a couple classics, that were on the PS3 and the 360, it's fine because it gives them a new breath of air, and you pull in new audiences to those other titles. So it's not exactly bad. You know what I mean? Now, in the long run, I don't want it to be port heavy. I'm hoping in the long run, we get more original titles. And, I still hope that we still get our version of PS4 and Xbox One games, even though they'll be given. I hope that those ports are okay. But ports of classic games that are hits are awesome. Ports like HD ports or remakes and stuff is better. Like was it Hyrule Warriors? That's another port that's coming. It's beautiful on the Wii U, ran like crap on the 3DS, but the 3DS had content that the Wii U version didn't have. So they brought them together. So you get the best of the 3DS, the best of the Wii U, with just a slightly updated fidelity in comparison to the Wii U on the Switch. That's a job well done. You know what I mean? So it's really good for instances like that. It gives us the ability to get ports that are just basically fan service for the hardcore gamer. You know what I mean? Like those more obscure games back in the day, like if we're vocal enough, they'll get a HD remake and they'll be ported to the Switch. So that stuff's good. But what I'm trying to say, I'm rambling all over the place about different titles on the system and the Switch's power and its lack of power and how that can negatively impact Nintendo ports and all that stuff. But for the main part, I think as long as they don't overdo it and as long as they choose the games wisely that they're porting over, whether it's from the Wii U or PS3 or 360, as long as whatever past games are being ported are quality and they're given a boost in fidelity and they come with all the content that they came with straight out of the box, you can't go wrong. So anyways, that's my thoughts on Nintendo Switch ports, if they're good, if they're not. You let me know if you think Nintendo Switch ports are good, if they're not. Is this going to hurt the system later on? Or do you think this is the system's lifeblood? Do you think this is what's going to keep the Nintendo Switch afloat when we're in dry spells for new games? You let me know, okay? But anyways, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.